I want to tell you a story about my spiritual awakening or the moment that I realized that I could do more and I could be more, and that the life I was living in that moment didn't feel aligned with all the things that I knew internally and that my soul kind of knew. And that I just found myself in this very distant kind of place, very far away from what I felt was right. So, travel back to Dan at age 19. I think I was 18 or 19. I'm not completely sure. But I was in my longest relationship at the time, one that I learned so many things from, and I made a lot of mistakes in that relationship. You know, when you're growing up and you enter a relationship or a committed relationship, and you yourself do not have a good foundation, it's very difficult for you to actually be the best you in that relationship, and you will oftentimes end up bringing the worst parts of yourself. And really and truly, that is one of the aspects of a relationship, to kind of confront these things about yourselves. But at that young age, when there's a lot of things going on, it's very difficult to do that. So I remember being kind of really in this rut of drinking a lot, smoking a lot of weed, just really being an escapist. I was escaping a lot of things internally, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and a lot of insecurities that I hadn't dealt with. So my life at that moment was a lot of, like I said, a lot of escapism, a lot of moving through things fast so that I could just get past that point. And I remember, I don't know the name of the book, which really irritates me because I've tried so hard to find this book because it was so random. And I think I found it in a library or in one of those free kind of book things, where they have like just free books and people can take it, or they leave a book and take a book. And I picked this book up and I'm just flicking through it, I'm reading it. And it's about this machine, this fax machine or this printer in an office who becomes sentient. It becomes sentient all of a sudden, and it starts to contemplate life, and it can start to look at the other people in the office, and it finds itself with this other person, right? So there's the machine, the printer, and then this person. This person's in the office, and they're in the same room. And the machine looks at this person and is thinking to itself, you know, God, I wish I was a human. Like, this person in front of me is wasting so much of their time because I think the way it was describing that person was just kind of like lazy. They just came to the office. They weren't really, they were like wasting time, right? They went to the office. Yes, they were getting paid, but they were just kind of wasting their time in the office anyways. They weren't doing anything crazy. They were just, yeah, just wasting time. So the machine is kind of like really infatuated with the potential that this person has. That if the machine could become a person, all the wonderful things that it would do. And it kind of started to daydream, right? The printer started to daydream. And as I'm reading this thing, I'm connecting the dots inside of my head. And I'm thinking, wow, like, it finally gave me a perspective outside of myself as a person. And I think some people maybe get that when they're five. Some people maybe get that when they're 10. I don't know. For me, that's when it happened. I had a lot of running away, a lot of dissociating. And finally, for a moment, I was able to get this perspective that I was a human with a lot of potential. And in that revelation, I remember it so clearly. I was just looking at the book, and it's almost like things zoomed out. In that moment, things just zoomed out, and I was able to see myself in this train with other people. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what the hell am I actually doing with my life? I was not happy. Like, I was not happy. I was in a relationship that wasn't really benefiting either of us. I was with a lot of friends who I cared for, but we also weren't necessarily helping each other, right? We were kind of all running away from things together. And I was definitely not happy with the situation at my home. Definitely not happy with the work that I was doing. I think I was like washing dishes, or I don't know if I was a chef at that. I think no, at that point I was still washing dishes, which is another story that I'm gonna touch on. But I remember thinking to myself, like, this is not it. This is not what I want. Like, I, I don't feel good. Like, I knew that. I knew that for a fact. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, although I had dreams of becoming a rapper or, a famous skateboarder at that time. And I just remember thinking, this isn't it. Like, this feeling that I feel about myself as I zoomed out and I saw myself and I was made aware of my current situation. I was not happy. I didn't feel aligned. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel true. And that was it. That really sparked a lot of things. Previous to that, I had a lot of interest in religions. I had some religious trauma, so that really helped to kind of get me into reading and understanding about other religions and wanting to find out, who is God and what is God and all these existential questions. So I had a big interest in philosophy. I had a big interest in psychology. At that time, I was heavily interested in conspiracy theories. Um, Not like crazy ones, the ones that actually came out to be true, but I was very invested in this, rabbit hole of escapism through the mind. And I remember feeling like that was really the moment where my spiritual awakening happening. And it can seem like this very distant concept, a spiritual awakening. What does that look like? Did I start to see like mosaics and colors, and was I touched by an angel? No. I just read a book about a printer, and it gave me a perspective on me and who I was. But a spiritual awakening can come from anything. It doesn't have to be like a big moment where, oh, you had a near death experience, all these things. It can happen from the most simple things, but it's a moment where your soul goes, hey, hey, enough. I've had enough. Like, you've taken me on this ride, or I've been on this ride. When you're young, you don't really have that much choices. So life has kind of taken you on this ride, and you're learning and you're experiencing, and it's painful, and you're growing, and your soul goes, hey, 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 please, enough, enough. Like, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I've felt enough. I want to say something. Do you get me? I want to direct the show now. I have something that I've come here to learn, and so far I've not achieved that, right? And this can look like so many different things for different people. Your purpose is very unique to yourself. But for me, it was really a moment to go, what am I doing? And I need to fix up. It was really, really as simple as that. I need to fix up. This isn't working. This isn't gonna last. I don't enjoy this feeling. I don't enjoy being myself. I didn't feel good with who I was at that moment. So from there, it started this long journey. I'm now 28 years old. I'm going to be 29, so it's almost 10 years of self discovery, self development, going through so many different things: yoga, CBT, counseling, mushrooms, which were my latest trial, which was honestly amazing. But you have to have a plan and you have to be intentional about it, which is another video I will create if you want to hear about that. I definitely want to create a video about my microdosing journey. I tried the Monroe experiment, Hemisync. That was really interesting. So many different things, so many books that I've read, so many podcasts that I've listened to, and along the way, I've picked up certain gems. I picked up certain kind of pieces of gold from all these experiences, all this knowledge, um, all these books, all these religious texts, and kind of grabbed onto them along my journey, put them in my back pocket. And last year, I lost my job out of nowhere. And I was like, right, again, it was another moment. I need to fix up again. I've made a lot of changes, I'd grown a lot, but I still hadn't fully dived into this full on experience. It's almost like from that moment, I had an awakening, but I never took it seriously. And I think I never had that many people around me who could show me the way. I was still caught in this trap of just get by, pay your bills, scrape by, and I would fall in and out of these periods of motivation and like, yes, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to do this thing that I really want to do and express myself and be creative and all these things. And then have these deep lulls of just like depression and shame and guilt. And this went on for the past few years. And like I said, microdosing was really something that helped me kind of release me from that cycle, as well as stopping smoking and other things. And so after losing my job and my girlfriend being pregnant at the same time, it was another big wake up call for me to go, right, let me take this thing seriously, right? I have this, it was still there, this calling, this, hey, let me out of here. Like, I want to be me, I want to do me. And my mind was kind of like, no, like, I want to keep Dan safe and I want to be normal and I want to play things safely and make sure that we pay the bills and blah, 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 blah. And when that security kind of got pulled away from me and I realized that the security that I was looking for wasn't always going to be secure, that I might as well just go for this thing that I want. Um, I was able to find all these gems that I'd collected. I had a real moment of deep diving. Life kind of allowed me to dive deep into myself again and find out what really is my purpose. What are these themes that are represented in my life that I need to explore, and what is my calling? Like, how do I want to do my bit, right? Not just for myself, not just to create a beautiful life for me and my family, but to leave something for my son, potential, other kids, other generations, other people who have had similar life experiences as me. And I'm so excited that this has all kind of come to fruition. Now it's a year from when I lost my job. Lots of trials and errors through that as well. Different things that I've attempted, different things that I've kind of learned from it. And now we're here. Now we're here. And, the journey continues. The journey always continues. Things can always be better. But I'm finally at a place where I'm at peace and I've accepted a lot of things and I've been able to kind of really fall back in love with life and fall in love with myself and the interesting bits about myself. And that's a big, big jump from where I was, right? 9, 10 years ago. I was in a slump. I really did not like myself. I had a lot of self hatred, self sabotage, all these things that are commonplace, unfortunately, for a lot of men. Um, and now to see that gap and to see how far I've come from that place and to see the kind of life that I've created for myself just makes me so excited. And I want to share that. I want to share all those things that I've learned. I want to share how that has all kind of come together for me. And that's why I started my school community. If you don't know about school, I don't know when they started, but it's like a really cool platform. It's a social learning platform, I guess. Not social media. It's a social platform, but it revolves around learning. You can find communities that are focused or like, yeah, they're focused on learning a specific thing. It could be marketing, it could be dressing nicely. I've seen communities about fragrances. So you can create a community and you can join a community. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. I've decided to go down the free route because I feel like this information that I've synthesized and put together exists, you know, exists out there. You can Google and YouTube and spend hours and hours learning about these things. But I've just synthesized it because I feel like people need this level of information. And another thing that I like to do is I don't like to make things really long or big words or none of that. It's all very simple, very clear, straight to the point, practical. And so if you feel like you're on this journey at any point, the beginning, middle, I guess there's only the beginning or the middle. I don't know where the end is. But if you are on this journey and you find yourself kind of looking for things and looking for answers and seeking the truth, then I would encourage you, yeah, to join. You can join. The link will be in this video, and there you will see this kind of breakdown. What I call it is it's a guide to the human experience, right? This human experience that we all experience. You're experiencing yourself and who you are and how you feel about things. As you're watching this, you're experiencing how my words make you feel and the kind of things that it sparks in your mind, right? And that is the human experience, and you're experiencing you're experiencing yourself. And what I've done is I've broken down what that human experience looks like and the most important bits, and how we communicate with those bits, and how those bits communicate with us, and how by listening and by communicating properly with ourselves, we can find these internal truths that kind of resonate, and they come out and not only just create a positive or beautiful internal experience, it can then ripple out and create an experience externally. And ultimately, that's the goal, right? Everybody wants to change the world and make the world a better place, but you got to start with yourself. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be on this place. That was like a nice little moment for me to kind of reflect on the way things went. Like I said, that journey was 10 years, and there were so many ups and downs, there were so many relapses, there were so many attempts to break free, and I had to learn so many things for me to finally get to this place where I feel like that. And there's so many things that I need to learn, but in terms of this feeling that I wanted to generate and be able to generate consistently and be able to feel that freedom, that internal freedom of this is who I am, this is who I want to be, and this is how I am going to uh, reveal myself and just explore myself and explore life and the people around me. That freedom that I've always yearned for, I finally feel like I have it, and I feel really excited to be able to share with people how they can do that for themselves. And I think from that, it's a very foundational place, because from this, you can do so many things. I could go on and, I don't know, become an astronaut. I don't know. I don't know what I can do. The sky is the limit, but I know that I feel that finally. And a lot of us don't have that privilege. Didn't grow up with parents who knew these things. A lot of our parents grew up and they were trying to survive. They were trying their best. They were dealing with tools that they were given, and they did their absolute best. And so this is why I've created this place, so that we can learn from each other. We can pass this on to our kids, and we can not only create a great internal human experience, but we can create a world where every child that's born is experiencing life on a clean slate, and they can just tell us about themselves, and they can explore and be creative. And that's the dream, ultimately, right? That is the dream. So thank you for listening. I hope you found some bits of this journey, of my journey, that resonates with you, and I hope that you have picked something up from it. Like I said, everything, resources, mini courses, articles, all of that stuff is in my school community, as well as other people that are like-minded and care about the same things that you care about. So if you're interested and this resonates with you, feel free to join. It's 100% free, and I'm excited to see you in there. So I hope you have a blessed day, and yeah, stay curious. Peace out.